Hey guys, welcome back to Medical Coding with Blue. Today's episode is going to be a little bit of a catch up and just some things that are on my mind. And then also, I'm going to be talking about the question that I've been getting so much of lately is if I am a person that is wanting to get into medical coding later in life, is this something that I can do? Okay, so the first things first, I want to reiterate again, stay out of the Facebook medical coding groups. Just stay out of there. There's been so many emails. Like, I've gotten a lot of emails like within the last couple of days about Facebook groups. Guys, do yourself a favor. Just stay out of them. Just if you are looking for information about medical coding, go to reliable sources. Go to ahima.org, ahima.org. Go to aapc.com, okay? Both of these are the major medical coding associations, and they are the ones that have all of the information that is correct about the field on the websites, okay? Go to the Department of Labor.gov, okay? They're the ones that's going to be able to tell you what the job outlook is going to be like and what medical coders, what their salary starting is, okay? This is going to be able to give you information from there. Always use reliable resources when you're doing your looking up about medical coding, because if you hear things from different people, everybody has a different attitude when it comes to medical coding. Whether you are talking to a recruiter who is trying to get you in this program because that is their goal, is to get as many people as they can into these programs, or you're talking to somebody who really loves the field, or if you're talking to somebody that's very jaded and has just nothing but negative things to say, go to reliable resources. You can ask me here for my opinion, and it's totally fine. I will give you my opinion and answer any questions that you might have to the best of my abilities. I always try to let people know that they have a choice. That's why I always recommend that you look at both websites, because when people will ask me which medical association do I recommend, I will say that I recommend AHIMA because I am a member of them, but I also say do your research and check out AAPC and see if maybe that's right for you. I know many people from both associations, and I have great respect for good coders. It does not matter what association or what credential they hold, okay? If you are a good coder, you have my respect. If you are the type that just wants to collect a check and go home, that's a different story, okay? So that's all I'm going to say about that. But always, always, always go to reliable sources of information, for when you're looking up things when it comes to medical coding, because everybody's going to have a different opinion, okay? And you don't want somebody to cloud your thinking if they have an ulterior motive. That's all I'm going to say. The next thing is, there is a reason that I do not watch other medical coders' videos, period. And I went against my normal thing because I was requested to look at a video that another medical coder did. I have a hard time when I see things that are done incorrectly. And in this particular scenario, there was talk about outpatient coding, okay, in which the coder did not select the correct diagnosis codes, okay. She did one of them, but one of them was fine. The other one I did not agree with because it goes against the rules in outpatient coding, and she was talking about it on there. And she is sharing her point of view. She is sharing her experience and things like that, and that's awesome. It's wonderful. But always make sure that you are following the rules, okay? You have to follow the rules when you are learning medical coding. If I'm just going to give the example, okay? In the outpatient setting, everything that we pick up has to be definitive. It has to have been addressed. It has to affect the patient. All of these things go into which diagnosis are you picking up. If the provider states that the patient has a condition and then they say it may be something else, or it looks like this other diagnosis and that other diagnosis is more definitive, you do not pick up that other diagnosis just because it's more definitive. Why? Because them saying it looks like just negated what they said. Okay? It has to be definitive. If the patient came in with a symptom of something and then they say it could possibly be this or it looks like this, doesn't necessarily mean that that's the diagnosis you're going to pick up. You are going to pick up whatever is definitive. So in this case, it would be what the patient came in, the symptoms that they came in with, because looking like, or maybe it could be this, is not good enough for that diagnosis to be picked up. Okay. Also, symptoms don't even have to be looked at if there is a definitive diagnosis. Okay. Just another thing that you have to be aware of. Okay. So when you are listening to these other coders, pay attention, and just because they say it's one thing does not necessarily mean that their answer is correct. Okay. So, and even me, I will say too, even when I'm doing my quiz Fridays, I've gotten caught a couple of times because I missed the diagnosis. I maybe missed it by a whole code, or I may have missed it by 1 or 2 digits. But I got some good eagle eyes out there, so I remember you. I know you. So anyway, but those, even I had to get corrected, so that's fine. I mean, it's all part of being a medical coder. You are going to get corrected from time to time, but pay attention. Even when you're listening to people who are trying to tell you how to do it, pay attention and make sure that they are doing it correctly as well. Okay, so always something to keep in mind. Now, the main topic of the day, which is if you want to get into medical coding and you are thinking that you are later in life. I've gotten emails from people that are in their early 30s and they were asking if it's too late for them. No, it's not too late for you. Same thing if you are in your 40s, and same thing if you are in your 50s. It is not too late. Okay, I knew a woman when I was in school, and she was 61. Okay. So she had gotten her credential at 61. She got her medical coding credential at age 61. She's still medical coding, and it's 10 years later. She survived the ICD-10 changeover. So she literally went from ICD-9 to ICD-10. So if she can do it, anybody else can do it too. That if you feel like you're later in life, you can do this. It's going to take a lot of study. It's going to take a lot of learning something new, and you have to be willing to ask questions and not thinking of your age first and foremost. Don't think of your age, okay? If you feel like you can do this, you can do it. Okay, it's just a lot of studying, it's a lot of reading, and you got to make sure you know the body, anatomy, physiology, medical terminology. You got to learn all those things, those basic things, and then you can learn how to look up codes in the book and learn your guidelines and things like that. These are all steps to becoming a medical coder. These things will get easier with time, but in the beginning, you're going to get a lot of information thrown at you in the beginning, especially when you are in school. Okay, but when you complete your schooling and you get your certification and you pass your credential exam, when you start to apply for jobs, yes, if you are older, in your late 40s or maybe your early 50s, late 50s, maybe in your 60s, yes, they may say, well, we have this position, and we're going to require you to be here, and all of these things. Of course, you can't be discriminated against if you are capable of doing the job, okay? But you have to qualify just like everybody else, because it is illegal to discriminate based on age, okay? You have to be able to prove those things, okay? But everybody in the beginning has a hard time finding a job in medical coding. I will just say that. It does not matter if you are young. It does not matter if you are older. It does not matter if you are right in the middle. Everybody has a hard time finding a job when they first start out, okay? I was in my late 20s when I started in medical coding. So with that in mind, I had to work hard too to find a job. It was not easy for me. I was just extremely determined and completely driven just to change my life because I wanted something completely different. But yes, if you are older, it is entirely possible, but it is a lot of work. It's a lot of reading, okay? It's a lot of asking questions. And of course, if you are starting later in life, your boss may be younger than you. Your boss may be your age. Your boss may be just a little bit older than you, okay? So there's always that to consider. Me personally, I don't think about people's age. I really don't. I mean, I treat everybody equally and fairly, and I treat everybody the same. So that's how I look at it. All right. But don't let, if you want to do it, if you want to do medical coding, don't let your age cloud you. If you are right on it and you want to do it, do it. Because the only one person that's stopping you is you. That's the only one person that's going to stop you from doing anything that you want to do. Okay. It is a good field. I mean, it has done so much for me personally, and I've talked about this a lot the last couple of days. But I wanted to sort of do this video because I've been getting this question a lot, and this way I can just direct everybody to this video and to let you know the same thing that I've been saying to a lot of different people, which is if you want to do it, it doesn't matter what your age is. Okay. There are people that I know that graduated high school. Okay, my one my one viewer that did that. He got his credential right out of high school. Which, if I would have known about medical coding back then when I was at that age, I would have done this. I definitely would have done this since then. But he right out of high school he got his credential, and now, you know, it took him some time, but he finally got his first job. So, and yes, while he's younger, I mean, I'm sure age was a factor for him as well. I mean, people looked at him because he's so young, not thinking that he's serious. And then he proved to them that he is very serious. And it's the same thing if you're older. You know, you have to show that you are serious and that you're committed. And that's what's so good about people that are mature as well. They know what they want. You know, if you are older in life and you already know what you want, then you're in a you have a lot more going for you than a lot of people even can imagine. Okay, because people that are older will do whatever they set their mind to. Is a generational thing too. That's what I believe. You know, a lot of times, like, I hear from younger people, and there are people from every age group that want things handed to them. This is not that. Medical coding is not that field. Medical coding will chew you up and spit you out. It will fight you in the beginning, okay? But you have to soldier on. You have to show that you are not fearful, that you will do what it takes to get the job, okay? And if that means being persistent and continuing to work other jobs until you can get a job in medical coding, then that's what it's going to take. So there are many positions that you can get into if you are trying to get into medical coding and can't get into it yet. There's working for the insurance companies or working as a biller. Billers don't even have to be certified, which is scary to me because I think that if you are working with the paperwork and you are submitting claims, that you should have some knowledge of medical coding. But it is not necessary according to industry standards. So people that are higher than me make these decisions. But billing is another good starting point, you know. And I think if you are familiar with the billing side of the house and you transition over to medical coding, I think it is a good thing because you have that background knowledge already. I don't work with the insurance companies. So what I know about insurance is through my own personal research and devotion to the field. So that's the only reason that I know about some things, okay? And then plus whatever articles I can get my hands on and I read, okay? Remember, guys, I read the New England Journal of Medicine. I read the Journal of AHIMA. There's all of these journals that I do read. So I expose my mind and my brain constantly to just different things. And that is very important. So don't let age be a factor if that's what you're worried about. You have to concentrate on other things. You have to concentrate on learning, you know. And then if you've already maybe you've been a nurse or an LVN or something like that, and you want to transition over to being a medical coder because maybe you want something that's not as physically demanding. Hey, that's a good thing too, because you're already way ahead. You've already done, your anatomy and everything. You've got your terminology down, so that's good. You have everything. You have the good foundational start, okay? And that's something that a lot of us in the beginning don't have, I knew nothing about the field when I got in it. And then what else? There was something else. Shoot, the thought just escaped my mind. But I mean, that was pretty much it. That was pretty much my point. Like I said, the only one stopping you is you. And if you want to do it, go for it. It is a lot of work. It's hard work. But once you get into it, spend some time with it and see. Watch some of my videos and see if it's what you want to do. Okay. But I'm just letting you guys know now that it does take commitment, and it's not easy, but it will reward you. At least that's just my opinion. So anyway, I hope you all had a great day. Like I said, I am working on my table of risk lesson for evaluation and management. That is something that we are going to be breaking down and discussing even more. I have my psych class with you guys too on Friday. It just snuck up on me quicker. This week just went by really quick, I think, because everybody's back this week, and it is cedar fever season around here, and I am not immune. So I did have a horrible cedar headache this morning. So that was what I was suffering with this morning. So like I said, I will get around to everything. But don't hesitate to send your questions. Like I said, please stay out of the Facebook groups if they're being negative. If they are being negative, I want to throw that in there, okay? I'm pretty sure there are some good ones out there, good Facebook groups. I don't go to those because, like I said, I try to keep the people that I ask to a clean level. Which is my one friend. I will ask her if I get stuck, and she helps me every time. And if I don't have access to her, then I'm very selective on who I ask. And whoever I ask has to have good background, because otherwise, they don't really know. And I've heard that many times, like, I don't know, Blue. So anyway. I will go ahead and wrap this one up. But like I said, let me know if you guys have any more questions. I will be stockpiling for next week's Q&A Tuesday. And I will see y'all on the next video. And I hope that you will thumb this up, because it does help with my ratings. So I really, really appreciate it. And thank you all to my new subscribers. I'm so excited. The numbers is going up. And I really, really appreciate it. So if you are a medical coder, a medical coding student, somebody curious about the fascinating world of medical coding, a provider or a nurse, I invite you to like and subscribe and follow me on my journey in medical coding. Okay, I will see y'all on the next video. Bye!